So, one of my recent relationships was questionable from the beginning, but he was upfront with me, so I trusted him. He told me he and his wife were separated, but they had an unspoken understanding that they would each live their own lives. However, they couldn't get divorced because it would cause hardship and shame for their families back home. He shared this information with me the first time we met, and we clicked, so I was okay with it. My nesting partner was concerned but trusted me. Months passed, and things were great between us, except I still didn't know his last name. I wasn't aware of the name of his business that he said owned, and he said he's terrified of his wife finding out about me because she would divorce him and ruin his life, even though they supposedly can't get divorced due to their families, and she's allegedly having her own relationships. I guess that should have been the first red flag, but I looked past it. Then he tells me he's facing pressure from his wife's family, and his family to make things work and eventually have kids, but he didn't want to break it off with me. This man literally said, "I want to have my cake and eat it too," but gave me an out if I wasn't comfortable with it. I was immediately on board with him reconnecting with his wife, and admittedly, I didn't want to leave him either. I wanted to be a little selfish, so I thought I was okay with it. A couple of weeks pass where we don't see each other, during which I get this growing, nagging feeling that things are wrong, and I finally realize that I'm not okay with it. He is literally making me into the other woman. His wife is expecting a monogamous relationship, and he is lying to her face. I try to encourage him to talk to his wife about a couple of things, but he claims that she isn't mature enough to handle things like this. I've lost count of how many red flags I've noticed typing all of these out, but here are a few more. When I told him that I realized I'm not comfortable with how the boundaries of our relationship have changed, he became very passive-aggressive and told me that he thought I would always be there for him, selflessly. I responded that I didn't realize selfless meant zero boundaries, and he replied, "Selfless means not thinking about yourself." He never initiated conversation unless it was to complain about me not initiating conversation every single day. He keeps telling me that our relationship is special and unique, and things are different with me. When I called him out on what he said in the first point and mentioned that he clearly didn't want a relationship with a real person and only cared about his own needs, disregarding mine, he said I misunderstood. He expressed a desire to clarify, but insisted he couldn't do it over text. Despite claiming to be saddened by my perception, he thought I knew him better than that and insisted he was always considerate and caring. Then he asked if I was still mad, even though he continues to refuse to clarify anything over text. I obviously can't continue any sort of relationship with him. I thought there was a chance I could still support him or be a friend, but I don't think I can trust anything he says. I'm fluctuating between being furious with him and being furious at myself for willfully ignoring red flags, also straying from my own values. Update 1. It's only been 13 or so hours, but you all have helped me in ways I didn't expect. I came in with a lot of self-judgment and doubt, expecting a lot of hate for my part in it. Funny how manipulative people can make us think bad situations are all our fault. Anyway, I took a lot of what you all said to heart and was already on my way to fully acknowledging the parade of red flags this guy had and my part in all of it. Last night, I did try to find his last name so I had the option of telling his wife, but I struck out on that. I got laid off a couple of months ago, and I'm sorry, but I can't justify paying for a background check. So today, I did what almost everyone, including my nesting partner and friend, has been saying from the beginning, and blocked him, but it felt bad to do it without any comment at all, so I sent him this. I'm not meeting you in person. You've had plenty of chances to turn this around, but instead of addressing the issues, you love spammed and deflected and kept promising later. You may love me, but you clearly don't respect me, or your wife. It was tempting to meet up with you to hear how you were going to try to dig your way out of this one, but ultimately, it wouldn't change anything. I'm done. Then I immediately blocked him on everything. My nesting partner said that was harsher than they expected from me, but they were proud of me. Not gonna lie, it still hurts. He kept saying he was going to respect my decision, but right now he's fighting for me, which my nesting partner said sounds contradictory, and I have to agree. I'm a little worried he's going to show up at my place, but I hope his sense of self-preservation will win out. If he shows up at my place, I'll show up at his, and expose him for all he's worth. Update 2. I want to give an update on my situation with him and my new partner, who has shown me exactly what poly is supposed to be. First, the jerk, who I'll call Nick, because that's his name, and even if he or someone he knew somehow saw this, there are so many Nicks in the world, I don't care. I did not meet him again, which many of you will be happy to hear. He doesn't need closure, and he sure as hell doesn't deserve any more attention from me. What I realized later is that he really, truly had me believing that all of the things he was mad at me about were my fault and my responsibility. The last time we met, he told me that he was doing me a favor by forgiving me and seeing me again, and that I needed to make it up to him. I believed him, and therefore didn't fight back when he hit me. I kept this from my partners and my therapist for a long time out of various degrees of shame. I told Nick I was done, saved the screenshots, and blocked him on everything. I wasn't going to give him a chance to smooth talk his way back into my good graces, nor was I going to give him a chance to harm me or worse. I didn't have time for his crap when I was just trying to survive after getting laid off in January. 4 months later, while I was at my friend's wedding at the end of July, I got a text from an unknown number. It was Nick. He said he respected that I apparently blocked him on everything and wouldn't reach out again, but he wanted to plead with me one more time to meet him and give him a chance to explain himself, because he hates that I think he's the monster I'm making him out to be. Barf. Ultimately, I did the smart thing and just didn't respond and didn't do anything at all. I was scared for a while, due to past trauma of exes coming up out of the blue to try to weasel their way into my lives. I was scared to leave my apartment alone at night for a while because I couldn't trust that his self-preservation would be stronger than his ego. Ultimately, I have healed, nothing has escalated, and it has been another 4 months of silence. I am genuinely at peace with my past with him and my present and future without him. Now for the good part. A couple of weeks after I broke it off with Nick, I was back online, refusing to let Nick or my fear of him control my dating life. I was going to take it slow and stay cautious but optimistic. I had a couple of good dates, but one really stuck out and lasted. My new partner, who I will call Dave because why not, has been in poly relationships for over 5 years. We spent the first week just texting, laughing, and discussing boundaries, and then, for the first meetup, he invited me over to his place for dinner along with several of his friends where he made ramen from scratch. We spent the evening talking, laughing, and playing Cards Against Humanity. I told him that inviting me over to a group dinner for a first date was surprising, but it worked out since I unanimously passed the vibe check, including from his spouse, and his friends were fantastic wing people. We've been together for 7 months now, and Dave has helped me through a lot of the grieving that comes with escaping abuse. He has never made me feel bad about setting boundaries, and has full-heartedly supported and accepted them. He, his spouse, my nesting partner, and myself all get along really well and had the chillest Friendsgiving ever. I helped Dave and his spouse paint and move into their new house. I have met his mom and several of his childhood friends. We've gone to a wedding together. We currently have very similar lines of work, so we are able to really understand each other's vents. Long story short, I never really believed that it was possible to have 2 healthy relationships total, much less 2 at the same time. So thank you all for giving me the kick in the pants that I needed. The poly community has been welcoming and wonderful, and I have been truly happy and at peace for a while now.